Hello, everyone. This is Michael Johnson, recording another video of Michael's musings or MJ's musings, and I'd just like to talk briefly. This is not going to be the all-expansive video of this topic. I'm going to be breaking this down into several future videos, but I want to talk briefly about this whole concept of ecosystem and early stage founders and be able to monetize giving assistance or even just ideas or conversations to help early stage founders get to the next stage of their company or accomplish their current milestones. And I'm going to take a contrary point of view to what's the common knowledge or the common line of thought right now about what it called, quote unquote, picking your brain. So essentially, like right now, the common, I guess, consensus around picking your brain is, okay, that's something that you need to extract a fee from. So basically, if you're going to sit down with me, you're going to talk about your idea. I'm going to give you feedback of your idea, give you information about these are resources that you can go to. These are people that you can talk to, etc. As far as investors, people that are experts in the industry, etc. That requires a fee. I'm going to say that I disagree with that almost completely. One, it's not a sustainable business model for an early stage founder to pay to pick someone's brain. That's really as simple as that. Like when you're in an early stage startup mode, you really should not be paying for much of anything. There's very few things, and most of those things will be around building your product, getting like the actual physical or virtual assets in place that your business needs to make money. It's also not sustainable for the person that's brains being picked because the people they want to charge don't have the money. So it's kind of like two aspects on that I want to take on. Actually three. So the first is one of the comments that people have, why they have to charge for picking their brain is because the founder's not prepared, they haven't done basic research, et cetera, et cetera. I perfectly agree with that. If you're going to set up time to meet with someone to get feedback on your idea, you should at least be prepared, have whether the market research you've done already, or at least be able to present your idea and have that you've thought through your idea and this or concept of what you're working on. You can have a meaningful conversation with the person you're talking to. So that I perfectly agree with that. The second component is, now, if I'm going to sit down and have if someone's going to sit down with me to get feedback on their idea, I'm not going to necessarily charge them, to pick my brain for something like that, but I want to turn that into actual work that can be paid for. That would make sense for a early stage startup to pay for. So as I mentioned, like building the virtual and physical assets that they need to make money, that's an ongoing activity. So I would want to actually try to turn that into an ongoing activity that, I would expect a fee for. But the other aspect comes into the concept of ecosystem. And the ecosystem concept is basically breaks down, now if you're an individual, you're not just doing business with another individual. You're not just, doing business with an individual. You're part of a connected graph of people and institutions, resources that are connected to each other via relationships, whether they're direct business relationships, knowledge relationships, things like that. You're connected in a graph, and if you're engaging in a transaction in this case, the transaction isn't monetary. It's okay, you're talking with someone else about an idea or business proposition or whatever. That is not just a conversation or transaction between two individuals. It's a transaction between both of those individuals and the overall ecosystem itself. And I'm a believer of the fact that, hey, if you're expending resources, then you should get compensated for it, whether immediately or down the line. And if you're receiving resources and energy from someone else, you owe something, whether immediately or down the line. But it's not necessarily that you owe the person you're directly talking to. You owe the ecosystem itself. And if you're giving the resources, the ecosystem owes something to you. So essentially, if you're trying to monetize providing services to help early stage founders, it's not necessarily something you would say, okay, how can I get early stage entrepreneurs to pay for what I provide, my knowledge and my resources? It's how can I get the ecosystem to provide monetary compensation to me for what I do? And then also on the flip side then is that the ecosystem will eventually have to collect something from that founder. So having some way of, from the individual monetizing that, and then also from the ecosystem manager's perspective saying, okay, yeah, here's a balance, like person X, they are owed a balance of such and such dollars for the value they provided to the ecosystem. Person Y owes such and such amount, such and such dollars for the value they've received from the ecosystem. And that balance be updated. So I kind of gone on longer than I wanted to talk about, and this is going to be an ongoing topic that I'm going to bring up. It's kind of integral to some of the work that I do on the technology side and the company wise and things like that. So I will be actually touching on this quite frequently in the upcoming days, weeks, months, as we build out this concept of building the hashtag ecosystem. So that's Michael Johnson, and have a good day.